I'm down in my well room, and I thought I'd make a short video on my setup down here. If you're on a well, you need to be able to keep your water clean by filtering it. Just because it comes out of the ground doesn't mean it's going to be purified water. Most pumps will pump sediment up, and so you need to take care of that. Each location is different. You might have just sand, you might have magnesium, might have rust. So get your water checked out by someone that does that for a profession like I did, and then make your setup. I decided to go ahead and do my own setup based on the knowledge I gathered from the people that tested my water. So let's look at my system, see what I have, and go from there. So my water comes in right through here. I have a shutoff valve. That's the first thing I have. I have a valve that I can empty the line out here if I need to, and it keeps coming. And then I have a turn-off valve here as well. The reason I have it here because this one's just much more easier, do a quarter turn, and it's off compared to this one, which I have to turn over and over and over again. So this is just for ease for me, makes it simpler. And then I start reducing the line until I get to my first thing, which is a sand filter. So if you pump sand or sediment, it's a great investment, because what it does is that the water comes in and then it goes around and around and around, and the sand's going to settle to the bottom, and where you would empty it out. So you have a valve on it like I have here. Now, at this point, you can either have an automated setup, or you can do just what I did, which was to put in a manual line where I just open it up and I have it draining into a 1 gallon container. So I'll just go ahead and drain it. Not very much water comes out. Now, if your line is pressurized or if your pump is turned on right now, this is just going to shoot out super fast. So once it goes down in here, it pumps out the sand. So I'll pick this up. You can see the sand on the bottom of that. Since I've installed this, it allows me to extend the life of my filters at least by twice. So a 6-month filter will now last me a year. So anyway, come back to it, comes in, spins around, goes down through it, and comes back up and out and over. And this is the setup that I've created right here. I put these tensioner bands on it because my well comes on, and I have all this stuff out in space, and I'm just trying to control any type of pressure. When it hits the pressure, then these pipes move a little bit, so I'm just controlling the movement. Once I get that, the coupler on here, the coupler you have to put in because you just cannot connect all these lines here unless you have a coupler at some point. So for example, here, this one is a threaded, and so you can't thread that in there, and this one, and this one, and this one, this one, and so forth, because you'll never be able to take it apart. You'd have to saw it apart. So the coupler allows you to disconnect and connect it if you ever had to. So after the coupler, I have the trade name Big Blue, they call it. First filter has a 10 micron paper filter with, I keep the spirit right above that, and that's to get the particles that are smaller than the sand trapped at this location. And from then, there it goes out through it, comes into this filter. So this filter is a magnesium filter, and it will get rid of the magnesium and the rust that's in your water. You know you have a magnesium problem if you look around your faucet base and find a white, crusty buildup. That's magnesium. And then rust is also present typically in well water. And after that, it comes into another filter, a 10-inch by 4-inch filter. That's a paper filter, and it's a 5 micron filter here. I have another water turn-off valve. I put this in thinking that I needed to be able to turn this one off and this one off and be able to change out all these filters and work on the system. But actually, this one I don't use very often because I have an anti-flow valve here. So this one becomes a little redundant. Just ensure that my water is going in one direction only so it doesn't come back up. Without this pressurized tank here is going to go back up into the system all the way back as far as it can. You go back to the well if it wanted to. So you have to have one of these here. And this is the thing closest to the pressurized tank. Once the tank is pressurized, then it goes back through here to the house line. And then I have a small 2x10 filter on there with a bypass valve that I can turn off and change this filter. And the reason this is here is because any sediment that may have gotten into there before all these filters were put in place will capture that. That's the filtering system that I have set up. But I have my hot water tank, and this is one of the things that is easily overlooked. Your hot water tank, if you like mine, has a valve on the bottom of it. And I have a hose hooked up to mine. That way I don't have to go looking for it. And every few months, you're supposed to open this valve and clean the line out. So I'm gonna do that now and show you why that happens. Even with all those filters on it, there still can be buildup. So I'm gonna open this valve. I put a glass inside this bucket to see if I can capture it. Let's see what comes out of this thing. See, maybe you can't see how unclear that is, how foggy it is. So the importance of cleaning this out is that your electrodes will attract all that sediment, and you want to get that out of there. Plus, at some point it'll go into your lines. Come in here, run a gallon or so of water every few months and get that out of there. Remember, your filters are typically going to only clean down to 5 to 10 microns. And there you go. So when it comes to your filtering your water system, please don't forget about your hot water tank and drain it every once in a while, or access this valve every once in a while. Take a gallon of water out, check it, make sure you get all that sediment out that sits at the bottom of your tank, and it'll extend the life of your tank. Anyway, thanks for watching. Good luck on your well.